This is a free partnership workshop. I would like to hear from Yapse. Because it appears that it's only 1402 and 1406. From Yapse, what will be the main achievement and what should be interesting, considering the working commission in terms of reference? What should be, for working commission, what should be the main outcome?
I'm not quite sure I can say something about that. But I think actually the two cost actions are doing the same thing, as far as I can see after these 2 days. We are trying, going to two sides. One side, we have to make decisions about our bridges or the structures. We have to make decisions. And for making the decisions, we need to have some data, some observations, some indicators, whatever. And then from the other side, there are all the things which are observed and are collected of data, and data which are possible to collect. And these two things should then be linked together. And as far as I can see, the two cost actions are trying to do the same thing, both of them. Therefore, there's really a lot of synergy, perhaps so much synergy that we are doing the same things. And that also calls a lot of for collaboration and also in more detailed level, I think. So this is a good start to have the common workshop, and I think we should continue on that. With respect to Yapse, I intended to say that in my closing words, but what we can do in Yapse is the cost actions will at some time be over, and it's not so many years that it will be over, but then these activities, these thoughts should live on afterwards, and that is where Yapse can take on these activities and continue then in the working commissions, in working groups and so on, and I think that is a role that we can play.
I have one practical thing to say. I think we should maybe choose only one joint case study example. One bridge. We are now in the phase of collecting, of talking about case studies both in 1406 and 1402. So maybe our joint thing should be one bridge. It doesn't have to be a big bridge. It can be a small, typical bridge where we can collect as much as possible data. We can say which of those data are crucial performance indicators, and then with that we can try to follow value of information theory and try to see how the decision on this particular bridge and its repair, maintenance, etc. can actually be done, collecting knowledge from both sides.
I completely agree with Anna's suggestion. We should choose a case study, simple, I think, and so that we can all work on that, and then we can use this case study for the dissemination, because for a joint dissemination, because we have to give a final product, and this could be perfect, because performance indicators are a part. Let's say, one ingredient of quantify the value of information. And so, and since as far as I understood, we have 1 year more for dissemination if we need it. And this is what I got from the meeting in Brussels. So maybe we can think about another joint workshop at the real end, maybe 1 year after the end of the action, if it's practically possible, where we just show results on the case study, on the joint case study. I think this could be perfect both for dissemination and for networking, because networking means two cost actions and the Yapse as well. So, let's say, from the communication point of view, would be the best.
Okay, from the audience, who wants to make any statement? We spoke a little about the workshop itself as well. How was it? What was main issues. We spoke about hazards, about management, dynamics of bridges, etc., etc. So I thought it would be good to also hear from the audience what were the main topics that you identified in the workshop. So anyone wants to say something?
I'm Lennart Elgren from Luleå University of Technology, and I think it has been a very interesting workshop to get the details of the development in sensors and also in the key performance indicators. What I'm working on is to raise the allowable load on bridges, because that we also want to do. We have a bridge and it is possible to increase the capacity on it. And I think for that we need the monitoring to know how it works now, and we need the key performance indicator to see in what state it is and what are the critical points if you want to increase the loading, and what kind of strengthening could you do. And I think there is a lot of information here when you work on the monitoring and the key performance that can be used and put together there. And I also think that this, that I heard now from Anna with a case study where you look into these questions, could be very interesting. And there I think you should also add this question: would it be possible to increase the load on this bridge? And how much can you increase it? And then you can use more advanced methods for calculations, as was exemplified from Germany yesterday, or they have this increase levels of working on it. And you can exemplify this level of what's happening there and what's happening with the key performance indicator. So I think that's very interesting, and I've been much inspired to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's the first time I participate in this joint workshop, and I know a little bit what happened in 1406, but I was not knowing exactly what happened in 1402. I think it's very interesting, this topic that you developed here. But I think monitoring is a thing that will not apply to all bridges, no? So basically, with monitoring you can have an indicator and you can approximate this indicator better. So monitoring is a thing that is very important, but not all bridges are monitored. As far as I know, in Croatia, none of the bridges are monitored. Is it true? They told us one in all Croatia. So there are really a lot of investment that we are doing for monitoring. So for special cases, it's important to have monitoring. I'm not sure that so many performance indicators can be used. No, we say 120 indicators. I think if you can 4 or 5 would be fine, which have safety, serviceability, risk, which has consequences and so on. But I think the work that was done here is very relevant, and this happened also in the United States. We have the same problems, and how to join these indicators and whatever we are doing with monitoring, I think is also extremely important. For monitoring, it's not easy to measure everything and to predict everything. So how we can monitor for a different period of time and what is the value of information that we take from this monitoring is important. You don't monitor a bridge for all its life, you just monitor in special situations. And the value of monitoring is important. To decide or not to have monitoring, what will be the interval or time of monitoring, and what is uncertainty in the monitoring, how to present this with some uncertainty, certitude of results is important. So I want to just congratulate for this work. It's very complex, and I think we have 2 more years, I think, to go for this project, and probably looking at decision making with or without monitoring will be something to be considered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for these words.
I can ask Professor May. What is?
Well, I don't know if I have a lot to offer because I'm really bit of an outsider, though I'm very interested in structural health monitoring. I haven't worked on bridges. I've been more interested in looking at buildings and looking immediately after earthquakes to whether there might be any damage. But one thing I see of value in this meeting is bringing the two groups together. It seems to me that the 1406 is more closer to the practice, maybe a little bit more grounded, and the 1402 maybe is a little more on the theoretical side. Maybe I'm wrong, this is just my interpretation. But what I find is that a lot of meetings in the United States, international meetings, the structural health monitoring people are primarily coming from the more theoretical side and not really working well with the people that are closer to the operations, to the field. And so I see this as a really valuable symbiosis that's occurring here, getting the two groups together. So that's my perspective.
Thank you very much for these words.
Should we ask our colleagues from Asia? What is we get two feedback from the United States now. What is it facing?
Yeah, I appreciate your young researchers project. So in Asian country, it is possible to you that young people are not read. So that means I'm so impressed. The topic that you are talking about is very essential. But in Japan, I just introduced you, the high technologies should be included like a business, right? But you are not so interested in the business, right? Much more essential features you are very interested in. But I just, you are so many countries, right? EU is the only one, like, but you have various countries. For instance, in the inspection rules, you have several categories, right? 0 to 6, 7 or 5 or 6. So it's a very variant, right? So in Japan, our government that's already decided just only 4 categories. Because if we have 7 or 8 categories, it's very difficult to recognize, identify. This state is 7 or 5 or 6. That is very, very difficult, right? So that means, I don't know what's the object, the final goals of your groups, to just provide the frameworks, essential frameworks, or some guidelines, by you trying to make guidelines. But it depends on the some country situations. So at that time, how to do that? I don't understand what we do. That means your future goals, I don't understand, I'm sorry. Yeah. But I just joined this, this is the first time. But I think that you have a bright future because you are so young. Yeah. That means I hope you are doing very well this straight lines.
Only to answer, we are not discussing the grading level, but more the framework for assessing. So it's, but even though at this level, there are huge dispersion between countries. So it's a very sensitive topic as well.
I would like to invite the last speaker.
So, even though I come from outside of the European community, I realize that our concern and our issues are the same. Because nowadays, we are very accustomed to design specification or some set of regulations, but nowadays they are asking us to do something strategic planning, like decision making for deteriorated structures as well as reliability-based design. So, nowadays we have very concern about corroded external tendon. We have used for more than 20 years. And nowadays we realize that serious problems in the corroded tendon in pre-stressed segment of concrete bridges. So probably we need some strategy and decision making for the corroded tendons. So next time I might bring some output. We have discussed about the materials, and maybe this kind of collaboration is very important to expand our knowledge to make proper decision making. So thank you very much for the kind of attention.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. And I think we have actually some closing presentations.
A lot of synergies and future work to do. Even my father during the workshop gives the possibility of extensions or even a new cost action. I think that each action has its memorandum, and we should proceed for the European Union according to the memorandum we have. And so I want to give you an overview, especially for those which are not used to the 1406, what we are doing as a close, a very short overview, and where we are. So first I would like to acknowledge both Anna and Alex for this reception. Without them it was impossible to organize this joint workshop. So from the 1406 I will have a special thanks to both. As you are aware, the main objective of 1406 is to develop a guideline to establish quality control plans in roadway bridges. It has a huge connection with the industry, with private and public operators from roadway across Europe. And this guideline, we want to focus on indicators, performance, that gives us the performance of different bridges, what can we use and when, and also the goals that should be used for this type of indicators. So the main outcomes of the action will be a state-of-art report, a database with material from several countries, and also we will really want to introduce here sustainability. Then we have smaller objectives that I show here, like the development of a state-of-art reports for indicators and goals, the collection of knowledge on performance indicators, including technical, environmental, economic, and social ones, to establish a wide set of specifications, and also, because practice should be on here, to develop detailed examples on the practice engineers for the assessment of these indicators and establishment of goals in the quality control framework. Then we want also to develop the database. These question marks which are here in green are those which are being developed, and some of them are already developed. We have also a web page, written material. We want to support technical and scientific committees, and also we have the short-term missions, workshops such as this one, and also special sessions in very well-known international conferences. This is where we are. We finished the working group 1. We are now almost finished working group 2, which is dedicated to goals, to the computation of key performance indicators. And then we are on the process for working group 3, which is to draw the quality control framework. Considering working group 4 on case studies, it will start this year, so there is some delay on this. And also the standardization is also in an ongoing, but it will rest until the end of the action. This is the milestones we achieved. The first one in performance indicators already here. Then we have the report now, which is in a publishing procedure for performance goals, where we show the computation of weighting factors, etc., etc., etc. And it's will be tested and used in benchmarking. This is milestone 4. And finally, after being tested, we want to give some recommendations for the future, for those cost actions that we hope that come from here. This is the milestone. Work group 1 is already published. It's in the website, and sooner we will see the one from working group 2, and until the end of this year also from working group 3. This is our website. For those who don't know, you can simply enter the website, and there is a tab called Join the Action, where you can enter and fill, and once you join, you receive all the material related with what we are doing, which is very important because we want to establish a permanent communication to our members, because some of them are not in Europe. This is what we already did in terms of dissemination, the brochure, the pin, and once again, I appreciate and I thank all of you that went here. And I would like to invite Ines for presenting shortly our next workshop that will be held in November in Riga. And then after Ines, Sebastian will present 40 minutes.
Dear colleagues, thanks for the opportunity to invite you. This one. Invite you to our next workshop that will be in Riga from 23rd, 24th November. The workshop will take place in Riga Technical University in conference rooms of university, of new university library. It's on the picture, and you are invited to submit papers with maximum 8 pages, not later than 1st September, but not earlier because we have our holidays and we are starting to work 1st September. Therefore, the date will be fine from this point of view. The university, we have the largest technological university in Baltics, but it is not a very big university in Europe context. It's founded in 1962, and we have 8 faculties, and the Faculty of Civil Engineering will be the host of our workshop meeting, and we could then organize it in our new library. Riga is also a very nice city. We founded in 1201, and you can see we could visiting many interesting things in Riga. We have nice architecture. You could also visit. And then I will say that this is enough dark time. In Latvia at that time we have only some 6 hours daylight. Therefore, we have light festival at that time, and many of bridges and many of buildings will be lightened, and you could then evaluate performance of bridges night. And I hope it also will be a nice experience. And I would like then I think that we could have a good discussions. And welcome Riga workshop in November.